Hello everybody, I'm going to talk about the chapter number 13 of the book To Kill a Mockingbird. Put my bags in the front room and John Lewis, stop scratching your head. Those were the first two words that Aunt Alexandra said when she came. Jem took the suitcase to the room. It was rare that Aunt Alexandra came to visit us, so I asked her if she had come to visit us. Your father didn't tell you? She asked. He isn't at home yet, right? She said. And Jem answered her that Atticus wasn't at home and that he used to come after late afternoon. He probably forgot it, he said. She said. And she said that Atticus and her had decided that she will stay with us for a while. And in Macomb for a while, that meant from 3 years, 3 days, to 30 years. She said that Atticus and her had decided that she will stay with us for a while. And Jem and I just crossed our looks and she said, Jem and you are growing up and it won't take many years before you get interested in boys and in clothes. And I thought many answers to that. For example, Calpurnia was a girl and it will take many years until I get interested in boys, and I will never be interested in clothes. So she said that Atticus had decided that we need some feminine influence. So Jem asked about Uncle Jimmy, and she said that he had decided to stay at London. And I asked her if she would miss him, but she just ignored my questions. And I think that that was not a good question. So my mind was in blank and I couldn't think of anything to say to her. In fact, I had never had anything to say to Aunt Alexandra. I have always had like painful conversations with her. She thought that I was a dull and extreme, and she said that I was sluggish, and I heard when she said that to Atticus. So it was a Sunday when Aunt Alexandra came, and she was really irritable on the Lord's Day. Perhaps it was her corset, but I don't know. Aunt Alexandra was not fat, but she was solid, and she used suitable clothes to draw her bosom up and to pinch her waist, so that one could think that when she was younger, she was an hourglass figure. From many angles, that was formidable. And that afternoon continued in a gentle gloom, like the feeling when any relative came to visit. But all that stopped when we heard a car in the driveway. It was Atticus that had come back from Montgomery. So Jem and I ran to meet him, and I jumped to him and I felt his big, dry kiss. And I asked him, did you bring me a book? And did you know that Auntie is here? And he answered both questions in the affirmative. And he asked me, how did you like her to live with us for a while? And I said that I would love it. Obviously, that was a lie, but sometimes it is good to lie. Atticus said that Aunt Alexandra living with us was what we need, that he was not at home, and that the summer was going to be hot. I said, yes, sir, but I did not understand any word. However, I knew that that was the best for the family. Macon welcomed Aunt Alexandra very well. All the ladies came to visit her, and even Mr. Nathan Radley said that he was glad to see her. Her missionary society added to her reputation of hostess, and she became the secretary of Macon Amanuensis Club. Aunt Alexandra was unique. She had a riverboat. She had um, boarding school manners, and she was an incurable gossip. I think that when she was at school, she did not know the meaning of self doubt. And Aunt Alexandra had an opinion and a point of view for everything about some Meriwether suicide. She said that it was because a morbid streak in the family. And she used to talk about heredity. And she said that in Macomb, the longer a family had squinting in a patch in the land, the finer it was. And her theory had something behind. Macomb was an ancient town. It was about 20 miles from Finch Landing, and thanks to a zinc field, Macomb was not closer to the river. Sinkfield operated an inn where two big trails met. It was the only tavern in the territory, and Sinkfield was not patriot, but he used to serve ammunition to the Indians and to the settlers, and neither caring or knowing if it was from the Alabama's territory or from the Greek nation. And the business was good, but it was better when the governor William Wyatt Pitt uh, dispatched a team of surveyors to locate the exact center where they're going to establish the government. And it was good, but thanks to him, because he had been holding his buildings to preserve his property, Macomb was not in the middle of the Winston Swamp. Although Macomb was different from other towns in Alabama, it had just a problem. It was far away from the only public transportation that we had, that was the riverboats. And in Macomb, there was a cave system. But for me, everything worked like this. Everybody had heard um, the older's characteristics. For example, everybody had the same character, the same shadowing, and even the same gestures. And it was very predictable, every characteristic of all families. Everybody had the same characteristics of the older people and the same attitudes, as I said. Thus, that was a good characteristic or bad characteristic from people in Macomb. Aunt Alexandra fitted perfectly into the world of Macomb, but never into the world of Jem and me. During the first month that she stood with us, we hardly ever see her. and she hardly ever says something to Jen and me. We saw her just at mealtime and at night. I remember once that I entered to the living room and she was with some ladies over there. And she told me, speak with your cousin Lily. And I said, who? Your cousin Lily Brock, she said. Is she your cousin? I asked her. I didn't know that. And after Lily Brock left the house, she said that it was so sad that Atticus never talked about her family. And then she got even madder when we started to talk about cousin Joshua. Before I went to bed, I was in Jam's room and I was looking for a book. And Atticus came and said that he wanted to talk with us. And he started. I don't know exactly how to say this. Just say it, Jim said. And he said that he wanted to talk about the facts of life. And that Jim got mad. And he said that we had talked about the facts of life. And he said that Aunt Alexandra had told him to tell us about our family and that our family was not from the meal of other people. And our family was different. Our family had gentle breathing. And she said that Aunt Alexandra had told him to tell us that we have to behave properly. Jem like a gentleman and me like a young lady. And I remember that I took a comb from Jem's dresser and I started to run it and along the edge of a table. And Ariko said, "Stop doing that noise." And that really hurt me. And I started to cry. I knew that was not my father. He didn't used to thought and talk about her like that. And I knew it was Aunt Alexandra's fault. And I ran away from the room, but I met Ariko's best friend. And I remember that I heard her stomach that was rolling, and I told him, "Your stomach is rolling." "Yes," he said. And I told him, "You have to drink some soda." And he said yes, and that he was going to do it. And I asked him if that situation was going to continue. And he told me that I should not worry. In that moment, I knew my father was back. I knew he was just a man, and that was a work that took a woman to do it.